Right now, trains in other countries are moving faster than most cars on American highways. We're talking about speeds over 250 miles per hour. Meanwhile, Amtrak averages about 72 miles per hour. So what happened? And what are the fastest trains actually running today? Let me take you through the 10 fastest trains operating right now in 2026, show you exactly how they work, and explain why America is finally starting to catch up. The history of high-speed rail. Trains have been around for a long time. The first high-speed rail system launched in Japan back in 1964. They called it Shinkansen, and people started calling it the bullet train because of its bullet-shaped nose. That train could hit 130 miles per hour, which was incredible for its time. It cut the trip from Tokyo to Osaka from 6.5 hours down to 4 hours. And here's the crazy part. In 60 years of operation, the Shinkansen system has never had a single fatal accident. 0. Compare that to American highways where tens of thousands of people die every year. France got into the game in 1981 with their TGV system. On its first runs between Paris and Lyon, it was doing 168 miles per hour. Then in 2007, a French TGV set a world record at 357 miles per hour during a test run. Spain built their AVE network, which now covers over 2,275 miles. Germany launched the ICE, connecting cities across the continent. South Korea connected their major cities with the KTX. Europe as a whole now has over 18,500 miles of operational high-speed track, linking over 300 cities. These countries saw rail as a way to connect people and boost their economies. The European Union has invested over 100 billion euros through their 10T fund with plans to reach 50,000 miles of track by 2030. China's high-speed rail revolution. China changed everything. In 2008, right before the Beijing Olympics, China opened its first high-speed rail line. And then they went absolutely crazy with construction. Today, China has over 25,000 miles of high-speed rail track. That's enough to wrap around the entire United States twice. They control almost 65% of all the high-speed rail in the world. The global network now covers more than 85,000 miles total, and these trains carry about 1.5 billion passengers every single year. China has invested over $900 billion into their network, and economists say it's added about 1.5% to their annual GDP growth. That's massive. Their network connects over 700 cities. They use 5G internet on board and facial recognition for ticketing. The trains are clean, fast, and reliable. Meanwhile, the United States has about 457 miles of track that can technically be called higher speed, and most of it's shared with freight. How high-speed trains work. The technology's gotten wild, too. Regular high-speed trains run on steel wheels and steel tracks. Kind of like normal trains, but way more advanced. Engineers have figured out how to make trains more aerodynamic, lighter, and more efficient. Carbon fiber bodies, regenerative braking, and artificial intelligence now control these machines. Nose cones on modern trains reduce drag by about 30%. Lightweight materials cut train weight by 20% compared to older models. But then there's Maglev technology. Maglev stands for magnetic levitation. These trains use super powerful magnets to actually float above the track. There's no contact at all, no friction. And when you eliminate friction, you can go insanely fast. Maglev trains use about 90% less energy than conventional trains at 300 miles per hour because there's nothing slowing them down. The magnets create both lift and propulsion at the same time. The countdown begins. So, let me break down the top 10 fastest trains running right now, starting at number 10 and working up to the absolute speed champion. Number 10, Frecciarossa 1000, Italy. Coming in at number 10 is the Frecciarossa 1000 from Italy. This train runs at 186 miles per hour and connects Milan to Rome in about 3 hours. The distance is 346 miles, and this thing just cuts through the Italian countryside, past vineyards and ancient villages. Hitachi built these trains, and during testing, they actually hit 224 miles per hour. The Frecciarossa has been running since 2015, and now it even crosses borders into France and Spain as part of Europe's connected rail network. Italian passengers get to enjoy actual pasta service while looking at Renaissance-era cities through the windows. The seats are comfortable, the legroom is generous, and the whole experience is pretty different from eating a bag of pretzels on an American flight. Number 9, ICE 3 Germany. Number 9 is the ICE 3 from Germany. Also running at 186 miles per hour, this train connects Frankfurt to Cologne in just 1 hour. That trip is 118 miles. Deutsche Bahn operates these trains, and they use something called tilting technology. When the train goes around curves, especially through the Alps, the cars tilt to keep passengers comfortable and maintain high speeds. During tests, the ICE 3 has reached 205 miles per hour. Germany now has over 3,300 miles of high-speed track connecting cities across the country and into neighboring nations. And yes, they serve beer on board. Number 8, Eurostar E320, UK to France. At number 8, we have the Eurostar E320. This one is special because it runs through the Channel Tunnel connecting England and France. London to Paris takes 2 hours and 15 minutes at 186 miles per hour. The distance is 280 miles, and part of that journey is literally under the English Channel in a tunnel beneath the ocean floor. Siemens built these trains, and they had to design them to work with different electrical systems in the UK and France. The voltages are different in each country, so the trains switch automatically as they cross borders. The current fleet has 17 trains, but they're expanding to 50. If you ever wanted to eat breakfast in London and lunch in Paris, this is how you do it. Extensions connected to the HS2 project could inspire similar upgrades to America's Northeast Corridor someday. Number 7, KTX Eum, South Korea. Number 7 is the KTX Eum from South Korea. Running at 190 miles per hour, it connects Seoul to Busan in 2 hours and 15 minutes. That's 257 miles. Hyundai Rotem built these trains, and they started running in 2021. The KTX system originally launched back in 2004, and this newer version uses hybrid power systems for better efficiency. They also use something called ballastless tracks, which are more stable at high speeds because they don't shift or settle over time like traditional gravel ballast. Korean passengers get duty-free shopping on board and K-pop playlists through the entertainment system. Future upgrades are planned to push speeds up to 250 miles per hour. For Americans, imagine Baltimore to Washington, D.C. in just 15 minutes. Number 6, AVE S103 Spain. Coming in at number 6 is the AVE S103 from Spain. This train runs at 193 miles per hour and covers the Madrid to Barcelona route in about 2.5 hours. That distance is 380 miles. Siemens built these using their Velaro platform, and each train carries 404 passengers in double-deck cars. During tests, the AVE has reached 217 miles per hour. And here's what really matters, though. Spain's high-speed rail network has grown by 10 times since 1992. Economists estimate it adds about 6 billion euros to Spain's economy every year through tourism and business travel. Passengers enjoy Wi-Fi, cafes, and comfortable seats. The network's now expanding to connect with Portugal. America's current state, Brightline comparison. For comparison, Florida's Brightline, which is America's newest passenger rail service, covers 235 miles from Miami to Orlando in 3.5 hours at 125 miles per hour. The Spanish train covers a longer distance in less time. That gap shows exactly where American rail stands right now. Number 5, JR East E5 Shinkansen, Japan. Number 5 is the JR East E5 Shinkansen from Japan, running at 199 miles per hour. This train covers the 365 miles from Tokyo to Aomori in just 3 hours. The E5 model has been running since 2011, and people call it the Hayabusa, which means peregrine falcon in Japanese. The design is amazing. The duckbill-shaped nose at the front cuts through air resistance and reduces noise when the train exits tunnels at high speed. Japan sits on major fault lines, so these trains have earthquake detection systems that can stop the train in 5 seconds if sensors detect seismic activity. The entire Shinkansen network maintains a 99.9% on-time rate. The famous bento box meals served on board have become legendary among travelers. The next version, called the N700S, has already hit 224 miles per hour in testing. Here's something relevant for Americans. The Texas Central project, which aims to connect Dallas and Houston, is based on Shinkansen technology. That 240-mile trip would take about 90 minutes instead of the 4+ hours it takes to drive Interstate 45 right now. Number 4, TGV M, France. At number 4 is the TGV M from France. This latest version of France's famous high-speed train runs at 199 miles per hour on the Paris to Lyon route. That trip covers 264 miles in 2 hours. Alstom built these trains, and they are seriously impressive upgrades. The TGV M weighs 20 tons less than previous versions and uses 30% less energy. They even have hydrogen fuel cell options for routes that don't have electric power lines. France is ordering 100 of these new trains by 2030, and they'll connect to networks in Italy and Spain. Passengers love the bistro cars and the views, and remember, this is the same system that set the 357-mile-per-hour world record back in 2007. The really fast stuff. Now we're getting into the really fast stuff. Number 3, CR400 Fuxing, China. Number 3 is the CR400 Fuxing from China. Running at 217 miles per hour, this is the workhorse of China's entire high-speed rail system. There are over 2,500 of these trains in operations right now. The Beijing to Shanghai route covers 819 miles in about 4.5 hours. Before high-speed rail, that same trip by regular train took 12 hours. The name Fuxing means rejuvenation in Chinese. What makes this train special is that it is completely domestic. China built the entire thing without any foreign parts, making it independent of foreign technology. It has tilting mechanisms for curves and regenerative braking that captures 30% of the energy that would normally be lost when slowing down. Tickets start around $20 for a 300-mile trip. That's cheaper than gas for a family driving the same distance. Since this train launched in 2017, air travel on competing routes has dropped by 20% because people prefer the train. Upgrades are planned to push operational speeds to 280 miles per hour by 2027. Number 2, CR450 China. Number 2 is China's CR450. This is brand new, unveiled in late 2025, and it runs at 249 miles per hour. During pre-service testing, it actually hit 281 miles per hour, outpacing every other wheel-on-rail train ever built. This is the fastest conventional train in the world. Conventional means it runs on wheels and tracks rather than floating on magnets. CRRC, which is China's state-owned train manufacturer, built the CR450 with some serious technology. The bodies are made from carbon fiber to reduce weight. Distributed power systems spread the motors throughout the train for smoother acceleration and better efficiency. Artificial intelligence monitors every system and predicts maintenance needs before things break. Smart sensors check the tracks and the train in real time. Cabins are quiet, Wi-Fi works, and they serve hot meals. China plans to have a fleet of 1,000 CR450 trains by 2030 with a target of 99.9% on-time performance. At 249 miles per hour, this train could cover the distance from Los Angeles to Las Vegas in about an hour flat. Right now, that drive takes 4 hours minimum, and that's without traffic. Number 1, Shanghai Maglev, China. And finally, the number 1 fastest train in the world is the Shanghai Maglev from China. This thing runs at 267 miles per hour. Covers the 18.6 miles from Shanghai's Pudong Airport to the Longyang Road Station in 7 to 8 minutes. A taxi through the same traffic would take at least 45 minutes on a good day. This train launched way back in 2004 as a joint project between Germany and China using transrapid technology. Here's how it works. Superconducting magnets lift the train about 4/10 of an inch above the guideway. There's no contact, no wheels touching anything, no friction at all. During tests, this train has hit 311 miles per hour, but operational runs are capped at 267 for safety and noise control. One-way tickets cost about $8. The ride is unlike anything else. It's completely silent. There are no vibrations. You just feel this smooth acceleration as Shanghai's neon-lit skyline blurs past the windows. Panoramic windows gives you incredible views of the city, and since 2004, the Shanghai Maglev has carried over 100 million passengers. That proves Maglev technology works at scale. China's now looking for extending this line to Hangzhou, which could cut that trip down to just 15 minutes. For Americans, imagine getting from JFK Airport to Midtown Manhattan in under 10 minutes. Japan's even faster future. For reference, Japan is building something even faster. Their Chuo Shinkansen Maglev line hit 347 miles per hour in testing back in 2015. That's faster than a Boeing 737 during takeoff. Some test and vacuum conditions have pushed that past 400 miles per hour. Commercial service is planned for 2027, connecting Tokyo and Nagoya in just 40 minutes. The project costs $55 billion and is expected to create about 1 million jobs. Japan's been working on this technology for decades, and they've never compromised on safety. When this line opens, it will redefine what trains can do. Why America fell behind. So why does America not have any of this? The short answer is freight trains. American railroads prioritized cargo over passengers decades ago, and that decision shaped everything. Class 1 railroads own 94% of the tracks in this country, and they make more money hauling freight than running passenger service. Amtrak's Acela can technically reach 160 miles per hour, but it only hits that speed on about 35 miles of track. The rest of the time, it's sharing tracks with slow freight trains moving at 40 miles per hour or dealing with curves that were designed in the 1800s. Door to door, the Acela averages 72 miles per hour. You can literally drive that fast on Interstate 95. The funding gap is massive too. American highways receive $250 billion per decade from the government. Rail gets about $2 billion. That's a 125-to-1 ratio favoring roads over trains. Plus, you have NIMBY lawsuits where people block construction in their neighborhoods and urban sprawl that makes Americans dependent on cars. About 80% of American trips happen by car. Airlines and car manufacturers have lobbied against rail for decades. The result is that American rail emits about twice the CO2 per passenger mile compared to European high-speed trains because we're still running old diesel equipment on outdated tracks. America's high-speed rail future. But things are actually changing. The 2021 infrastructure law put $66 billion into rail projects across the country. California is building a true high-speed rail line connecting San Francisco to Los Angeles. The route's 494 miles, and trains will run at 220 miles per hour. As of late 2025, 119 miles are under construction in the Central Valley between Merced and Bakersfield, with about 70 miles of guideway already complete. The project has created over 16,000 jobs so far. The $3.5 billion bid for new track signals real momentum. The full line should open by 2033, cutting a 6-hour drive down to about 3 hours. The total cost is estimated at $128 billion. The return on investment is expected to include 450,000 jobs and $50 billion in economic activity. Brightline West is another big one. This privately funded project will connect Las Vegas to Rancho Cucamonga in Southern California. The 218-mile route will run at 200 miles per hour, cutting travel time to about 2 hours instead of 4 by car. Price tag is $12 billion, entirely private money, and they expect 11 million riders per year when it opens in 2029. The Texas Central project is pushing forward too. Dallas to Houston in 90 minutes using proven Japanese Shinkansen technology. That's a 240-mile trip that currently takes 4 hours by car. The project is privately funded at $20 billion. The Northeast Corridor is getting upgrades as well. 28 new Acela trains are coming by 2027, with $16.4 billion going into tunnels and signals. The goal is to get New York to Washington, D.C. down to 96 minutes by 2040. The case for high-speed rail. Polls show that 70% of Americans support building high-speed rail. The demand is there, the technology works, economic benefits are proven in every country that has tried it. Every country that's invested in high-speed rail has seen tourism increase by about 15%, emissions drop by about 75% compared to cars, and regional economies grow stronger. High-speed trains produce about 80% less carbon emissions than planes covering the same distance. With climate deadlines approaching and cities becoming more congested every year, this matters now more than ever.